Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen table, which I guess is now where I'm going to be filming a lot of videos for y'all. But today I'm going to be showing you guys how to start embroidering. And what's funny enough is that this video was my most requested video on Instagram. If you guys do not follow me on Instagram, you should. It's @bychloewen. But basically, I have been posting all of my embroideries that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and I got an insane amount of DMs from y'all asking for tutorials and how to do embroidery and what supplies you need and if I'm selling them. So I've sold all the ones that I've made. You guys have been buying them up faster than I can even make them, which is crazy. But I wanted to give you guys a little tutorial for how to start an embroidery. If you've never embroidered before, this is a very easy and fun craft. It's something that you can do. It's really cheap, super affordable for everything that you need, and it just is entertaining for hours and hours. So it's super fun. I have embroidered since 2015. My roommate in college taught me how to do it, and I've just been doing it ever since, kind of under the radar until all of this stuff started happening. And then I was like, well, I guess it's time to start embroidering again. And I really had no idea that y'all would be so interested in embroidering. When I posted that photo, I was like, here's some filler content of something I've been working on. And just the response that I got and how many of y'all have purchased kits that I've linked has been honestly insane. And so I thought I would do a video for y'all, like a little tutorial, kind of walk you guys through how to get started, what supplies you need, everything that you will need to start embroidering. I will be sure to link down below. That way you can like build out your own kit. And I'll also link some of my favorite kits off of Etsy as well that I think you guys would really like. Going through one of those kits might be a little bit easier for beginning because you can get everything shipped together. But if you want to build something out, like I have like my giant sewing box of all of my colors and stuff, I can show you guys how to get started with all of that. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Normally I post thrifting and fashion and vlogs and all of that good stuff, but given the circumstances, I am here at home embroidering and doing crafts and baking, and I just wanted to share this little aspect of my life with y'all. But I've got my hot water with lemon and let's get into it. So as you can tell, I have a camera behind me, and that's because I wanted to be able to film this in real time so that I can walk you guys through all of the steps while also showing you kind of a view from above and over my shoulder. So please ignore the camera behind me. You're probably going to be seeing most of the shots from over my shoulder, but that is why. That guy's right there. It's the only way that I can think of filming it like this. So this is the embroidery that I have going right now. As you can see, it has some daisies and some leaves, and so we're gonna be working on this one. But basically the first thing that you will need are some embroidery hoops, and I like to work with 3 different size hoops. So this one is a 5-inch hoop, this one is a 4-inch hoop, and then this one is a 3-inch hoop. And the reason I like to stick with pretty small size hoops is because it is a lot of room to fill. I like moving from project to project, so something like this takes hours and hours and hours, and it honestly gets a little bit boring after a long time. So I like to work with something a little bit smaller, like this 3 or 4-inch hoop. That way I can finish a project and move on to the next design, which is just a lot more fun. So these are the hoops that I get, and like I said, I will be sure to link these down below in the description box. Obviously you can get a bigger hoop than a 5-inch hoop if you want. These are just what I prefer, and I just find them to be the easiest to work with and hold as well. So a really common question that I got on my Instagram when I was posting these was, what kind of fabric do you use to fill your embroidery hoop? And I purchased this fabric from Joann's a very long time ago. I mean, it lasts forever because you're only using kind of a few inches of it. You can basically use any fabric. If you wanted to cut up an old t-shirt or some denim, like you can put anything pretty much in these hoops. So don't be too afraid of like getting the right fabric. Really, if you just find an old t-shirt, you can cut it up and literally just place it in the hoop. If you are able to go to a craft store, which I don't know right now if anybody's able to or if they should, or maybe you can order it online. This is basically, I think it's just like a cream colored cotton, and I like to work on cream more than white, but you can also work on gray fabric or black fabric. Like I said, you could work with denim, you could work with a pattern fabric and embroider over it. There's really no rules to embroidering, and that's something that I really like about it is that you can get creative as you want with this type of craft. There are obviously much more like formal types of embroidery, but I like to do what people call modern embroidery, which is kind of like a free-for-all. It's a lot of fun. You do like these kind of sketched out like modern patterns versus like normal stitching. What I'm sharing with y'all today is just what I have figured out on my own. My friend taught me like the very basics of it, but then as far as like stitching and patterns and stuff go, I just make it up as I go. And so I wanted to give you guys a video that shows you how easy and approachable embroidery is. It looks really complicated, but I promise you guys it is not. I don't do any sort of like fancy stitching or anything like that. So I just wanted to set you guys up with everything that you need to start. Next, you will need some embroidery thread, and you guys have been drooling over my little embroidery box, which is so funny. Everyone's been like, where did you get that kit? Where did you get that box? So my embroidery box actually just came empty, and what you do is you purchase embroidery thread, which I have in here, and your embroidery thread is gonna look like these. So they're just wound up like this, and you can keep them like this. They just get really tangly. So what I like to do is wind them onto these little like flat spools, and I can show you guys how I wind as well. But basically you will take a color, so we'll just take this color right here, and you pull these little things off, and I'll be sure to link the embroidery threads that you will need as well. But basically what we're gonna do is we take the end of this embroidery thread and you hold it down with your thumb like this, and you're just gonna wind it on. And I like to wind back and forth so that it distributes the string evenly, and this takes forever. So it really makes me laugh when people are like, where did you get that kit? Because I'm like, honestly, I wish I could have bought this kit. And there are kits that do sell everything pre-wound, but you're not gonna get those really good colors. Like I like those really beautiful kind of muted pastels. If you get a kit that is already wound and like already laid out like this, you're gonna get some pretty ugly, just like primary colors and just like the most basic colors. Once craft stores do open, you will be able to go in and get specific colors. Like I go in and I purchase these individually. I pick out the ones that I want versus getting them all in a set. But I know right now that's a little bit difficult because obviously everything is closed down and you shouldn't be going to craft stores. Once all this stuff gets like sorted out, you will be able to go to your Joann's or your Michael's and pick out individual colors. Once it's wrapped, you just hook the end onto the little notch in the spool, and this is what it looks like wound up like this. And you can write the color number if you want, but I don't really do that. Once you have the color, you just slide it into your box like that. But this is how they come, and this is just hours of winding. Now you can use any scissors that you want, but I got these cute little gold scissors because I thought they were just so stinking adorable. And I will also be sure to link all of these little spools, and I'll also link this little ring as well, because it's really nice to kind of pack up just the colors that you're using currently on this little ring, and then you can also kind of clip on your scissors and then you can take it to go. So that's how I organize my embroidery thread. I like to pull out the ones I'm currently using, so these are the colors in this pattern. That way I don't lose track of them, because I do have a lot of greens in here. Just putting them on this ring helps me to organize them a little bit better. You are going to want some needles, and you can basically use really any needles, but I just got these in a pack and there are a bunch of them. So the needles are super cheap. The embroidery hoops I believe are like $1.50. The ring and the little cards I think are like $2, and the scissors are maybe like $5. So it's really affordable to get supplies for this. The threads I believe are like 50 cents each. The most expensive thing that you will buy is the box itself, and I think you can get one of these for like $9. So those are all of our supplies, and now I'm going to show you guys how to get your fabric onto your hoops. So we're gonna do a little baby. This is a 3-inch hoop, one of my favorites. It's just so stinking adorable. I love using this hoop if I'm doing like an individual flower or a leaf or like little cactus. The 3-inch hoops are also super cute as ornaments, so if you wanted to give one as a gift or make an ornament in memory of this really insane time that we're living in, I highly suggest these little baby hoops. And a lot of you guys ask me, what do you do with an embroidery once you finish it? There's a few things that you can can do with embroideries. You can either keep it in the hoop, which is what I do, and hot glue the back of the fabrics down so that it lays flat, or you can take the embroidery out of the hoop and lay it flat and like cut it out. You could frame it. If you did want to embroider a shirt, you would literally just place the shirt fabric in the embroidery hoop, and then once you finished, you would just take the hoop out. Honestly, I personally just like to make them and give them to friends or sell them or give them as gifts, so I usually just end up giving them away. It's more so just a really fun and relaxing kind of slow project that I just find is really helpful, especially right now with like everything that's going on. Embroidering has helped me a lot. So your hoop is gonna come with this like blue plastic that you can easily peel off, but honestly I cannot get it off right now, so we're just gonna leave it on. You're going to unscrew this little thing right here and pop out the middle hoop. So you have your outer hoop with the clasp, and then you have your inside hoop. You're gonna take your fabric, place your inside hoop kind of on the fabric like this, and give yourself about 1.5 inches all the way around. You can get rid of that fabric later, but you're gonna want that little excess so that your fabric doesn't come out of your hoop. Once you're finished, you can trim it up though and glue it down like this. I always glue mine down with a hot glue gun, and that way it like looks clean, but for now we just like the fabric out like that. So we're gonna take our scissors and we're just gonna cut the fabric, leaving a good amount of space on every side of the hoop. Then we're gonna put the fabric over the inside hoop like this, kind of lay it flat, and we're gonna take this outer hoop like this, and we're gonna just slide it on, leaving a little bit out. See how there's a little bit of space right there? The reason you wanna do that is because we're gonna start tightening it now, and at the very end, we're gonna push that down so that it's super tight. You really want the fabric to be tight on the hoop so that everything looks very clean, and that way it just makes the embroidering process so much easier. So as you can see, I'm kind of sandwiching them together like this so that they lay even. So now that our fabric is on, you can see how tight it is on the hoop. That's what you want. Like, you don't want to be able to like push it through like that. Then you can take your scissors and just cut off the excess that you don't need. If you leave all the fabric on, it just is harder to hold the hoop. Obviously, if you are embroidering like a t-shirt and you want to wear your t-shirt after, you won't cut the excess fabric off, but I like to just cut it off because it's just a lot easier to hold. That way you don't have all that fabric in your hand. So this is our hoop, and we've got the fabric on. This is what it looks like in the back. Now we're going to design something. So I always just hand draw my designs. It's just what I like to do. Like I said, I'm gonna link some kits down below that give you specific patterns that you can trace. I personally just like to freehand. I did a freehand drawing on this one, and you can probably see my pencil marks, but they're super light, so you just need any type of pencil. And that's another reason that you want it to be super tight on the hoop so that you can actually draw on it. So for this one, let's just do like a little leaf. This is what the pencil marks look like, and you can erase them later, so don't be too afraid. Just draw pretty lightly. So I pretty much did a little leaf just like this guy right here. So I'm going to show you guys how to start this guy, and we're going to use this nice green right here. So we're unwinding the thread from our little spool, and I usually do kind of like an arm's length. If you get your thread too long, you're gonna have issues with it getting tangled, and if you go too short, you're gonna have to constantly rethread your needle, and that is also a pain. Now this part is really important. We're gonna be splitting the thread. So when you buy thread, it comes on this, and it's pretty thick actually, and you can sometimes use the thickness to your advantage if you want like a really thick bold line or anything like that. But typically I like to do embroideries that are pretty dainty and just very neat, and so I like to split my thread, and you can split it a bunch of different ways, and you're gonna want to split it all the way down, and be really gentle when you're splitting it because it can get really tangled. And honestly, you guys will find that embroidering like 50% of the time is just untangling knotted thread. So now that we have two separate pieces, you're gonna set one of the pieces aside. So this is what we're gonna be using. Everything that I've done in this embroidery has been used with split thread. You can split it again if you want and do like single strands if you want something super fine, or you can, like I said, leave it with all 6 strands and you'll get like a really thick line. A really good middle ground though is just splitting it in half. So I have my thread right here which has been split, and we're gonna take one of these needles and we're going to thread the needle. So I'm zooming you guys in right now because we're gonna start embroidering. I always like to start at a good point, which is usually the base of a leaf or the base of a flower or a base of a petal. You're gonna thread it through the back like this, following your design. So you're gonna pull it through, and then looking at the back, you only want 1/2 inch to 1 inch sticking out. You're gonna hold this end down with your finger, and you're gonna thread it back through the top. The reason you need to hold it down is because if you don't, it's gonna pull through the back, and then you're gonna have to start over. So we're back here, and holding it from the back, we're gonna go back through the front, following the line a little bit higher. So see, we're right here now on my drawing. We're gonna pull it through, keep hold of that back so you don't lose it. And you don't have to hold the back forever, but in the first 5 or 6 stitches, you're gonna want to hold the back. So now we're gonna do a back stitch is what we're gonna call it. You're basically gonna backtrack. So we're gonna go back towards where we started, go back down. Then we're gonna come back through, and we're gonna connect the 2 lines. So we're gonna go right back in here. Now we can stop holding the back, because if you can tell, like, you pull on it and it doesn't pull through. So now we're starting our little branch, and so we're gonna go skip up to here, to this top part right here. And we're gonna pull it through, and we're gonna move forward on the design like this. And then we're gonna go forward, skipping some space right here. And we're gonna backtrack and connect our stitches. So we're going forward, then we're gonna come up, further up on the design, and we're gonna go backwards, connecting the 2. So if we turn it over, you can see that it's like a dotted line almost. Now we're gonna just start with one of the leaves, just so I can show you guys how to do a leaf. We're gonna start at the base of the leaf right here. We're gonna pull through like this, and you're gonna go all the way to the end of your leaf, creating a line down the middle of your leaf. And then we're gonna start filling in the leaf. So see where we drew this line right here? And I can try to draw it in a little bit darker. So this is our leaf line. We're gonna just follow this leaf line right here, and we're gonna meet it in the middle where we did that kind of drawing of the line, like that. Then we're gonna skip forward a little bit, like this, and we're gonna go back to the outside. So it's just a lot of back and forth. I mean, that's basically what embroidery is. And I hope this is helpful, even though like maybe the way I'm describing it isn't helpful. I hope visualizing it just helps you kind of see how easy it is. It's just a lot of back and forth and following your pattern or your drawing. We're just going back and forth down the middle like this. You can go back and start to fill in those areas. So I always just like to imagine embroidering as coloring. As you would color, you would move your pencil back and forth on this shape to fill it in. And that's basically what embroidering is, except you're doing it with string. So just imagine filling something in with a pencil, and you have to do back and forth strokes. So as you can see, our leaf is filling in like that. And what you would do is you would just go in on the other side and just fill it in just like we did on that side. So that's kind of how you do that leaf. Now to end an embroidery, what we're gonna do is you flip it over wherever you want to end it, and you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna wiggle it through a piece of the string back here. And we're just gonna loop it through and make a knot, and this just kind of ends it so that it doesn't get pulled through. And then we're gonna cut it, leaving about 1/2 inch. So that's the starting of a leaf, and obviously when you finish it, it will look more like this. So now we're gonna pick up on this guy right here, and we're gonna do a flower on here because I want to show you guys how to make a flower. So I have my yellow string already on a needle, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the center. So I like quickly had sketched out one like right here, and what we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to start from the back. We're going to come up, hold down this string right here with our finger, and we're going to go back through the top. We're going to go back through the top pretty close to where we came up. See, now we're in the back again, and we're gonna go from the back again, and we're gonna go right back through the top, almost just crossing over because what we're trying to do right now is just keep the string from coming up through the back. So now we're gonna fill in the center, and as you can see, I did a bunch of tiny stitches for the centers of these flowers. So we're gonna just do a few of those. And like I said, it is just a lot of back and forth stitching. We're going to finish the yellow by looping it through the back here, pulling it through like this, and then we're going to loop it through here, and that gives us a knot which ends our thread. That is our new little center of a flower. So now we're going to take our white for the flower, and we're going to start in the center, right by the center of the flower, pull it through, hold the back, and we're going to stitch right by the center again, because right now we're trying to stop the thread from being pulled through. All right, so at this point our thread does not get pulled through, so we're going to start at the base of the yellow right here, and we're going to go to the end of the petal, so right here. We're going to follow the drawing just like we did the leaf, and we're going to start moving along the outer edge of the drawing, bringing it back to the center. And you can see, like on this big flower, you just go from the center to the outside, from the outside to the center. So that's what we're doing right here with this little flower, going from the center to the outside, and then the outside going back to the center. So as you can see, we just made a tiny little petal, and you'll just do that all the way around the flower. So that is how you make a simple flower. But that's all I have for y'all on this little tutorial of how to embroider. I hope that was really helpful, showing you guys the supplies and how to do a couple little flowers and leaves. Honestly, it just takes practice. You guys should see my very first embroidery. It was so bad, so give yourself some grace, give yourself a lot of time to finish it. It's not a rushed craft. If you guys do end up trying this out and purchasing the stuff for the kits, be sure to tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your designs and your embroideries, and we can start a little embroidery club over on my Instagram. There's already like 40 of y'all who've purchased the kits from my stories, but I hope you guys end up trying this out. If you found this video helpful though, please give it a big thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know if you end up purchasing the kits or trying this out. Also, let me know if you guys want to see more embroidery content, like different patterns or stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out what I can do with this. I had no idea it would be such a popular thing, but I've had a lot of fun embroidering, and I know you guys will absolutely love it as well. Like I said, join me over on my Instagram at bychloe1, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new here to my channel. I would love to have you back for some more videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!